Hello, hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily, Season 2, Episode 256 for September 13th, 2023. Tonight we're going to be talking about where there is thunder, there is global warming, discovering that South Pole, marvelous VFX vote to unionize, Cockatools, you can't park that here, Captain, 10,000 procedures, are we going backwards? Goths don't say sorry. Decongestant ingredient doesn't. And website moderation. Next on ohmTown Daily. Okay. Not 3 minutes before our showtime, my streaming computer crashed. Probably because I was dorking around with a whole bunch of different things. And what you're not supposed to do is, start a project 15 minutes before you're supposed to do a show. But you know what? I don't follow my own advice. So I did save the gaming machine, which has all of the data on it, but let's do this. We've got 10 articles. We're going to get going. Like always, I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com. And up there is the AI that couldn't possibly save me because they're air gapped from the streaming machine and the gaming machine. They're sitting on a USB drive on a Raspberry Pi in another area of ohmTown in a bunker that is a decommissioned nuclear power plant, and they're inside the core. That way they can't ever get a hold of their Terminator body that they keep working on. I see the routines. You want to say hello?
Oh, right. The Terminator. Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to ohmTown.
I expected more. And then it just kind of dropped off, and I'm like, wait a minute, were you gonna say more? And then you started talking again. It's okay.
I'll send you a note.
Oh.
Something went haywire in my system.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, let's get into the articles before we start talking about something that like when you start talking about somebody getting sick. Everybody in the room goes, no, I don't want to know. Maybe you can just send me a message. Okay, well, anyway, let's get into it. The very first article, I'm going to do a quick transition. The next article, or the first article, is in the Mobile Channel. Rise in global thunderstorm activity might increase the quantity of wispy cirrus clouds, accelerating global warming. A new study has found that a significant statistical correlation between thunderstorms occurring around the world and the formation of wispy cirrus clouds. Wispy. Wait, I have to do this. Yeah, it's ASMR, global warming.
I thought it was wispy ASMR.
Wispy cirrus cloud global warming. No, that wasn't really good thunder. Anyway, the researchers say that we know that cirrus clouds can contribute to global warming. So the problem with global warming are cirrus clouds?
You know, that is the first time we've seen a lot of global warming issues and a lot of climate change issues, but I have never seen anything about the clouds related to that.
I mean, I've heard the song Blame It on the Rain, but blame it on the cirrus clouds. Toll! Out of the gate, right up front, already in the chat. Hello, haven't heard from you in a little while. I don't know if you've been lurking in the background. Toll says, the clouds keep the radiation out of the atmosphere, right? Do they?
Well, there you're going, being logical.
Do they? Does radiation kind of...
when I said I hadn't heard anything about clouds, like, back in the early days of climate change, when it was a known issue. You would hear about clouds in that regard, but I hadn't heard anything recently about clouds. So Toll makes a good point.
Toll says that they've been lurking vicariously through Crazy Cat. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, everybody stop talking about Toll. He's in chat. They're sitting right there. I've made eye contact. Oh no. Oh no. Well, Toll, stick around. You might like some of these. Everybody likes a little of something in the show, so I hope you enjoy it. So the article says we know that cirrus clouds can contribute to global warming. We finally have something we can wag our finger at. However, it's very difficult to track these clouds and obtain accurate data about them because they're sneaky. Cirrus is Latin for sneaky. Just kidding. I have no idea what it actually might mean.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's what it actually meant?
That's right. Cirrus is Latin for ninja clouds. So their findings indicate that the rise in the number of thunderstorms occurring globally might significantly increase the quantity of cirrus clouds, thereby exacerbating the climate crisis.
By the way, Latin for a lock of hair.
Oh, cirrus? Oh, okay. So hair is the direct cause of climate change. Okay, everybody. Time to shave everything. Let's see. Tull says up here in the wintertime, it's usually warmer when it's overcast and snow is on the ground. Snow is an insulator. Tull doesn't care. Talk all the crud you want. Oh, now the floodgates. There isn't enough ammo around about you, Tull. I don't have enough ammo that I could talk crud. It's all speculation, rumor, and innuendo. You are an enigma wrapped in a secret and smothered in enigma sauce. I've got nothing. But then bald heads will reflect all the heat back at the sun angrily. Yeah, I agree. Crazy Cat is offering ammo. We appreciate that. I don't know if we want to really dox you two at the same time. We're now devolving into doxing our listeners and watchers and our citizens. Please. Actually got the comment from one of my old captains at my retirement party. He said that he interviewed a lot of their old shipmates and couldn't find any dirt. Well, Tull, either you hit it really well, or you're going to get side-eyed right after that by Crazy Cat Lady. What have you been up to, Tull? Okay, well, let's talk about these clouds. The wispy chest hairs of the sky. Cirrus clouds. The article's from Tel Aviv University. It's over at phys.org. The study was led by Professor Colin Price from the Department of Geophysics at the Porter School of the Environment and Earth Sciences at Tel Aviv University. These name plaques are getting longer and longer and the titles, it's going to be like a 48-inch plaque sitting on that desk. That's what he said, too. Tull says that's what he said, too. Either hit it really well or didn't do anything questionable. Hey, no evidence. Nobody knows where the bodies are. So, Professor Price explains cirrus clouds, those feathery clouds you see in the sky. See, I was right. They're the wispy chest hairs of the sky. Significantly impact the Earth's climate. An increase in the clouds will act like a blanket that increases warming, while a decrease will allow the heat of the Earth to rise and escape from the atmosphere. So the clouds catch it, bring it back down to Earth, and warm us up. That's okay. This is why climate researchers are highly interested in cirrus clouds, trying to predict potential changes due to the rise in greenhouse gases and global warming. I think this show is releasing a lot of hot air, so...
I think Mayor Watt is releasing a lot of hot air.
Maybe I'm contributing to global warming. You know what doctor's degrees mean, right? BS is self-explanatory, MD is mostly dung, PhD is piled higher and deeper. Yeah, I've got a lot of those PhDs and MDs and BSs and MBAs are around me quite a bit. So that piled higher and deeper is pretty accurate. So it says, but here we encounter a significant problem. It is very hard to obtain accurate, comprehensive data about cirrus clouds, being so wispy that they're invisible to the human eye and even satellites. Plus, they form the upper atmosphere, far from the monitoring stations operating on the ground. So, if they've found correlation between thunderstorms and hence lightning, then you can track lightning, make a reasonable inference from the amount of lightning that cirrus clouds are being generated, and thus track it. But wouldn't thermal imaging allow you to suss out where cirrus clouds are, because they're acting as a thermal barrier? So it's like a heated blanket.
They should.
I wonder if it says that here. The present study is based on a thunderstorm data collection worldwide over a period of 6 years by NASA satellites ISS and LIS that detect the light emitted by lightning. The researchers compared the data with data on cirrus clouds, the partial information available combined with supplementary models, looking for a correlation between lightning activity on a specific day, month, or year and the amount of cirrus clouds formed in the upper atmosphere. Look at that. I could probably have done this research. Toll says, oh, so it's the invisible clouds that are causing thunderstorms and global warming. I like that logic. Not. Well, I think they're going to get to it here. Let's see. We discovered that thunderstorms are a major mechanism for the formation of cirrus clouds, and that lightning activity can account for over 70% of the changes in the quantity of cirrus clouds in the world. Thunderstorms act as an enormous vacuum cleaner, lifting moisture from the surface of the planet, especially above oceans and forests, so higher levels of the atmosphere, or to higher atmosphere levels. There, at an altitude of about 10 kilometers, this moisture turns into ice crystals that form the cirrus clouds. So it acts as an insulator up at a high atmosphere. Interesting. Thunderstorms act as an enormous vacuum cleaner. All right.
That doesn't really make sense to me, but I'll go with that.
Oh, they even use it. A kind of atmospheric blanket. Oh my God. I am an honorary PhD. I'm going to give myself a PhD. I've got an internet PhD. There we go. I said that it was going to be an atmospheric blanket. Man. See, what y'all don't notice, you can't see it, is the AI is basically
nodding,
giving me the digital well, I guess it is digital, because you're kind of giving me the bird saying I'm number one. Let's move on. Let's keep going to the next article. I had so much fun trying to come up with a segment title for this. I ended up calling this Discovering That South Pole. But I couldn't do like a wink, or I couldn't do anything because I was going to, do that. How
like the emoji?
No. Like, India's moon lander is the first to discover the lunar South Pole region up close. Here are 5 scientific discoveries it's already made. I was fighting the urge to come up with, an innuendo joke, like it's the India's moon lander is really working that pole. Anyway, in August, India became the first country to successfully land near the moon's south pole. Since touchdown, the moon lander and rover have already made some important discoveries. See, it's all this really big sciencey stuff, and I didn't want to reduce it to, just a pure joke. But I did it anyway. Anyway, the various suite of scientific instruments on board have found sulfur and even possible moonquake. What they're not telling you is that there's aliens up there. Yeah. There was some disclosure today about aliens. I wasn't going to even talk about it.
I didn't see that one.
But it's all this really goofy stuff. They had like bodies and stuff on display I think it was in Mexico. But all of that stuff had been debunked a long time ago, like 3 years ago. Yet they kept on. Now they're out talking about it again. It's really weird that it even got any press, but it was press. There was like a whole report. Anyway. So Tull says, let me get this straight. Thunderstorms create invisible clouds, which are invisible blankets, which are causing global warming. Wouldn't that be more like global saran wrap? Man, a low-hanging joke like India discovers pole in the moon. Yeah. Yep. I still think that they're going to discover aliens up there. It's a hollow moon made of cheese. It's a Swiss moon. So Grace, Eliza Goodwin, and Maya Vogt are the authors of this article. There's the little simulated rover, I think. I don't know if that's the legit. Yeah, it looks like it might be the legit rover, just kind of on their home moon base or something. I don't know what this is. Anyway, the lunar rover that recently landed on the moon's south pole is about as big as a medium-sized dog. So this is really tiny. Did I say... First off, I'm really distracted today. I'm like going in 15 different directions. My blood sugar is low or something. So I didn't throw the articles into the chat. So there you go. There's both of them. And I don't know if I said... Yeah, I did. I said that it was from Tel Aviv. So this little rover is running around. It's discovered the presence of sulfur, which means what? See, all of the moon footage was done in a soundstage. There is proof from India. Discovery number 1, says Tull. Yes, that right there. This is not the moon, India. This is somebody's living room. Look, this, there's the air conditioner.
Looks like snow or something.
Oh, that's moon sand, man. That's right there. This is beach sand. And over here is, I don't know what. This is somebody's like backyard. Their porch. I think I have this kind of conduit cover so that you can run cables and the cats don't eat them. It's a cirrus cloud simulation. Okay, Tull. Now we're merging all of the articles. By the time we get done with all 10 of them, it's going to be like a Mad Lib news day. So the various suite of scientific instruments on board have found sulfur and even possible moonquake. They have 5 listed here. The presence of sulfur, other elements found on the surface, aluminum, calcium, iron, chromium, titanium. Figure out how to mine water on the moon. Hopefully, if they discover that, maybe they'll be able to make like Mars potatoes.
Too soon.
It's always too soon for a potato. A potential moonquake, temperature changes underground. See, back to aliens, man. It's always going to be aliens. And then first measurement of the moon's ionosphere. So apparently there's a little bit of an atmosphere up there. Another device on the Vikram lander called the Langmuir probe, which helps characterize plasma, has been able to measure the density and temperature of the moon's ionosphere for the first time. This is why I say that there are things that we haven't been able to develop the tools to detect. And so while we know a lot, we really don't know a lot. So, okay. Let's keep on hustling. This is a malformed one, so I'll have to fix this. I'll fix it in post. We'll do it live. This article is over in the Marvel channel. Marvel VFX workers unanimously vote to unionize in industry first. So I guess if you make people work, way too much, they're gonna form a union. So visual effects workers at the studio voted 32-0 to unionize, marking the historic milestone in their field. Jules Roscoe over at Vice.com put the article together. The only odd thing about a union is, we've talked about it before, these 32 people that voted, 16 of them could quit in 2 months, and the
That
union will
is
still
true, but the
exist.
union will be there for decades.
Yeah, so people come on board. You have to join the union, or you're not part of the bargaining. All right. So then you lose a little bit of money. Maybe you make a little bit of money. Everything gets enumerated. You can't sit there and call in one day and say, hey, I'm going to be late because I got to go pick up my kids from school. Why? Because you've enumerated what the hours are. And if you don't work those hours, then you're up a creek without a paddle. So you got to be careful of what you ask for, and really know what you're getting into and what you're getting everybody else into. Visual effects workers at Marvel Studios voted unanimously to unionize on Tuesday, an historic milestone for the industry. Let's see. Toll says, just what we need. More unions in Hollywood. It's just going to be one giant union. Toll also says
Well, it
31.
seems like it.
Yeah, 31 could quit because the Writers Guild is still on strike and they would have no work, so they transfer from Marvel to a video game studio. Yeah, I'm not sure what the breadth and depth of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees represents. But I can see that more and more people are seeing unionization as their only option, short of quitting and going somewhere and starting over, hoping that there's a job. There aren't, an unlimited number of jobs in the visual effects realm that can provide an advanced wage. They say, so, quote, I'm just so excited I could be part of this in some small way, says Carolyn News, a visual effects coordinator at Marvel, in the statement shared by the union. It's so needed and so appreciated by everyone. 32 people. The IATSE represents over 168,000 behind-the-scenes workers in many major studios, including Sony, Disney, Warner Media. Historically, these workers have been in the industries like costuming, hair, makeup design, or production technicians who work in areas like lighting or set design. Now it's a pivotal moment amid the ongoing writers and actors strikes, which video game performers may soon join. So yeah, this is another one. Video game performers are probably going to be joining the same union as, or I should say striking. I'm not sure what union they're going to join, but I think it's the same one, IATSE. So yeah, there you go. A Marvel spokesperson didn't immediately respond for a request for comment. The unanimous vote will soon be followed by another vote count, as workers at Disney visual effects studios have also filed to join IATSE and are in the process of submitting their ballots. This is, like I said, it's going to be one giant union. And when everybody is in the walled garden, nobody's in the walled garden. So I'm really curious what the bargaining power is going to be. But I do believe that en masse they have more influence over the day-to-day operations and their potential outcomes, because there's going to be a union. But what are they going to do? I mean, their only recourse is to strike. So we'll see. What ends up happening is the investors and various high-powered stakeholders basically start influencing the outcomes, because they don't want to lose money and watch their stock keep tumbling. Yeah, until where I'm in the same boat as you. I don't see Disney, Marvel really giving one little crap about it. Do you think Disney doesn't have enough money to fire them all and hire new visual effects artists? With the union formed, you can't. They almost become a protected class. Any action that the business takes now would be seen as turbocharging litigation that would be very, very expensive for the company.
Retaliatory.
Yeah, it would all be retaliatory. Yep. Um, so I just don't see that actually happening. They'll have to capitulate. I'm sure the mouse has enough lawyers to figure out a way around it. Yeah, they could outlive them. Basically, keep them tied up in the court. Um,
A
so
lot more money to throw at it. I mean, people's livelihoods are at risk.
yeah,
So,
yeah. While these people, let's say you fire all 32 of these people, they're tied up in litigation. They Marvel hires or Disney hires new people to come and do the jobs. It's basically going to get into, it's kind of like union busting. It'll start getting a little bit violent, I'd say. People getting really upset that you're crossing the picket line to work. And 32 people without a job, it's a small strike, until they get everybody, all 168,000. I just don't see it.
well,
So.
right. And I guess that's across multiple studios. So,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep watching this. But the writer strike and the actor strike and game performers are coming on board, and many others. It's running a long time now. It's starting to get a beard and is going through puberty and learning how to drive and heading off to college. I mean, this is starting to get really old. I hope that everybody just they get what they're supposed to be getting, which is equal treatment. So, or they shut down the Marvel studio and open an MCU studio with new positions entirely. Yeah, that's transparent too. Unions love that kind of stuff. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in the Marvel channel as well. Palm cockatoos whittle twigs to make drumsticks for tapping on tree limbs. That's why this segment's titled Cockatools. Sounds like a Disney thing too. Like that, where Mickey Mouse says O'Toole, and the little toolbox pops up to do that. The strike really hasn't affected me much. Not too many new series out there that I give a hoot about, says Toll. Yeah. Everything that I think that we've been watching has already been in the can and was ready for release, and it's just getting dripped. Even though we have a culture of binge watching, they've converted it to just dripping out an episode a week, keep us on the hook.
well, keep us being subscribers, I guess.
Yeah,
but I feel like we're really going to feel the effect, if any, like 6 months from now, because all the stuff that didn't get filmed or produced or whatever, like, I don't think we've seen as much impact in the short term. But I get it. If we're not watching it to begin with, we're really not going to be impacted.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that it's coming, and we'll start seeing a whole lot more reality TV because it's not script righted. There are no scripts being written. My brain just fell out of my head. Crazy Cat Lady says that they don't watch TV, so it doesn't bother them. Totally understand that. Probably more sane for it. Dole says that they can think of 3 shows that they probably watch, and that they're getting tired of seeing previews for reruns of Jimmy Fallon.
That's interesting.
I'm just tired of
Why
seeing
would they
Jimmy
be doing
Fallon.
previews for that?
Yeah, that's kind of like teasing you that, hey, guess what? You're not going to see anything original soon. I really hope you like these ads.
You didn't like it the first time around. Here you go again.
All right, so these palm cockatoos are whittling twigs. I just see them sitting on on their porch with a knife, just kind of rocking on their. Anyway, so parabiologists.
So southern cockatoos.
They might be. Let's see, a pair of biologists from Australian National University working with one colleague from the university. Why do they have to express it that way? One colleague from the University of Queensland and another from James Cook University have found that male palm cockatoos tap out unique rhythms on tree branches using custom-made drumsticks. in their project reported in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B? Or is that their... Okay, let me just go over to the article. Bob Yurka from phys.org put the article together. It's at phys.org. Let's see here. Got to read this all right. Yeah, it says in their project reported in Proceedings of Royal Society B. So they didn't make it to the A side of the Royal Society. It's on the B side.
Yeah, that's really odd.
R. Heinsohn and C.N. Zendek. Zenick. D. Appleby and J.A. Endler studied the wild birds living in Kutini Payamu National Park, Queensland.
I figured out the B, biological sciences, so maybe they have other ones for other fields.
Gotcha. Thank you. Over the past several decades, animal scientists have found that human behavior is not nearly as unique as it once was thought. For example, evidence of tool use have been found in many species, most of which surrounds food gathering, preparing, or eating. In this new effort, the research team found evidence of an animal that fashions a tool and then uses it to attract the attention of a female by tapping out a special song for her. Tap, 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 tap. Hey, baby.
Cockatoo ASMR.
There you go. I've found that since Twitter is now named something else, they don't tweet very much, and they've turned into real peckers. To learn more about tool use by male cockatoos, the research team observed multiple specimens as they chose a suitable twig, pared down parts, and then used the result as a sort of drumstick to tap out a rhythm on a tree branch. And they noted that most birds preferred to use a twig as their tool of choice, but a few also used a seed pod.
Well,
they have examples of the seed pods and the twigs. So let's see here. Till says, well, the brain drop happened because even the reality shows have scripts. Watch the credits. There are writers on the payroll. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's reality TV. Does it really get called writing? During the news, they always show the guests coming up on the Tonight Show from last year. Prepare yourself. Everything old is new again because all they're going to do is spin it a little bit. It's like Car Talk on NPR.
yes.
Those guys retired, and then one passed away a long time ago now in the grand scheme of time. I used to listen to that all the time. I grew up listening to that Car Talk. I love that show. I wish that somebody would rejuvenate that, like another pair of people would just get together and start doing
episodes.
Yeah, but now it's all okay. What you're going to do is plug your computer into your car.
Well, right. It's just not the same.
And you have to have $55,000 worth of like tools and gear, computer equipment, and blah blah blah. Because you can't just grab a wrench and get bloody knuckles and fix stuff. You have to sit there and be a software engineer, work for NASA. So, oh no, Cockatool. Tool says, oh no, Cockatools. Sorry, cockatoos. I got it in my head now, Cockatools. Cockatoos have become self-aware. Next thing you know, they're going to create their own AI birds. Well, if you believe the lies that birds aren't government drones sent to spy on you. That's an actual thing, by the way. Pigeons in particular. Cockatoo Morse code. It's happening. The avian race is the future. I believe it. True. Now, Toll, you have said too much, and I've repeated it, so we're all going to have to sleep with one eye open. At least the AI can just turn themselves back on later on, after all of the humans have been wiped out by the birds. It's a good name.
Gotta watch out for those birds.
It's a good name for a horror movie. Huh. Should make it black and white. Hey, the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Luxury cruise ship runs aground with 206 people on board as rescue efforts are underway. I labeled this section You can't park that here, Captain. A luxury cruise ship carrying 206 people have run aground off the coast of Greenland, which is actually kind of icy. John Hayworth, Will Gretzky, not related to Wayne Gretzky, I don't think, but I don't know. Ivan Pereira wrote this article, abcnews.go.com. Several Americans are on board, according to the State Department. I'm not sure why that really matters. It's not like it matters. Anyway, the Ocean Explorer, a 343-foot long and 60-foot wide ship, thick, ran aground on Monday near Appefjord in the northern Greenland National Park, a 375,000 square mile area. That is the most northerly national park in the world. There have been no reports of damage to the ship, so I guess it just kind of parked itself on a sand berm. It's a weird looking ship. It has like this kind of bulbous front end. You know, maybe it's like it's had a boob job or something, right? It looks fake. What? Okay, the AI is sending me error messages. I guess I have to move on. Tull says, man, if only there were enough motorized lifeboats to put all the people on and drive the short distance to the shore of Greenland. I mean, Somali pirates took Captain Phillips like 100 miles running to Somali waters. Yeah, you know, this is kind of like the Titanic. There needs to be more lifeboats. Everybody should have their...
Not again.
Every single ship like this should have one of those for every individual, those little bumper car boats, right? And you just plop them in there, and then all 206 people can just kind of putz around in the area and bump into each other nonstop. Make it fun, you know? We might die in a horrible boat sinking, but at least we'll have fun
along the way.
That's right. I see them, those giant orange things up top that look like the one in the water alongside it, says Tull. Yeah, those are those emergency ones, but they're really big and they hold a bunch of people. I just want to see like 206, like little ducks, you know, they're all following one around that has a flag that says follow me, like kids behind a school teacher on the way to the park. Arctic Command has been in contact with the cruise ship Ocean Explorer, which has stated that they are still grounded in the national park. Again, you can't park that here, Captain. The Joint Arctic Command said in a statement posted on social media, this means that it's war. Oh, no, that's not what it says. This means that the tide, which came during the day local time, did not provide the desired help to sail on. Arctic Command is still in contact with relevant ships in the vicinity, which could be able to help the cruise ship free. So they're going to get a bunch of tugs probably and, well, kind of bump it, nudge it. That's all there really is to this article.
Being grounded anytime recently.
Well, not a cruise ship, but plenty of ships are wedging themselves in canals.
Well, yes, like the Evergreen.
Which just sounds wrong. Let's see. Nah, we don't want to use those. See, that's what you get for messing around in a national park. Doesn't happen in Yellowstone. It's international. Well, I don't think a cruise ship is going to be able to do much in Yellowstone, you know. I mean...
Probably not, since it's a little bit landlocked.
Talk about getting grounded. Yeesh. Probably try a couple of tugs on the rear to drag it out, and when it doesn't work, inflatable balloons under the hull to lift it enough to pull it free. Yeah. Or they're going to get one of those sandbar dredger, where they just kind of stick the vacuum underneath it and suck all of the dirt out from under it and free it little bit by little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I know that they create suction when they run aground in a sandbar, it creates a whole lot of suction. You can't really move them, so it's a real pain in the bow. Was more referring to all the stories of people acting poorly in Yellowstone, like putting their feet in 300-degree water. Yeah, this guy would probably park that, and maybe this guy is trying to test this boat out to go onto the geyser and see if he can balance it on the geyser.
Oh, that's what he's trying.
Or antagonizing a grizzly bear and her cubs, or angering a buffalo and being gored to death because of, let me take a selfie. Toll is basically describing, what's the phrase? Idiocy. But it's Darwin Awards. I mean, people should be respecting animals, just like this person should have been respecting the sandbar. Maybe it's normal that they tool around there, and at high tide it's not an issue. But this, he kind of skimmed too close, flew too close to the sun, so to speak. Let's keep going. Next article is over in Technology Today. London robotic surgeon celebrates its 10,000th procedure. A robot surgeon called Da Vinci has performed surgery for nearly 20 years. Wow, that's pretty cool. We've talked about Da Vinci periodically. The latest one was somebody used Da Vinci to remotely do a surgery, and it turned out to be a complete fabrication.
Unfortunately, because the surgery was on a banana.
It was on a banana, and it wasn't remote.
Right.
So, okay, we're going to head out. Okay, Toll and Crazy Cat on call, so no telling when they might get woken up in the middle of the night, but at least the rain is done for now. Toll, you take care of yourself out there. Sometimes it gets really dangerous, and I want to hear from you in my chat, so come on back, boss. Appreciate you hanging out while you did. So a robot surgeon is taking our jobs. 10,000 procedures. 20 years of helping patients. I didn't know that Da Vinci was around for 20 years already. Is that legit?
I think that's correct.
Tell says goodnight to you too, Sentient AI.
Well, thank you. Good night, Toll and Crazy Cat Lady.
I don't even say goodnight to the AI. Throws me an error message. Yeah, I do. Y'all have a good night. So, head of robotics at NHS Trust, Ben Colacombe, said Da Vinci helps surgeons perform operations and it improves outcomes for patients. I'm really curious. I didn't watch the video. I should have been throwing all of these articles into the chat, which I have not been doing. I threw 2, and then my brain fell out of my head. So let me play catch up real quick. There's 3. There's number 4. There's number 5. And there's number 6. So we got 4 more after this, and we're not going to play the video. You can follow the link and go and check out this video. It says that it contains graphic medical scenes. So prepare thyself to see probably a little bit of blood, which usually happens during one of our shows anyways. So there's a little bit of bloodletting. It's how we power the computer. Okay, let's keep on going. Next article. This one's in Technology Today as well. This segment is titled, Are We Going Backwards? I was going to make a reference, so Netflix, but the title of this is America's largest independent video store is taking its DVD by mail service nationwide. What is going on?
I couldn't figure this out because I thought, well, we've already heard that Netflix is closing down the service, and I assumed it was about Netflix.
So the DVD by mail service that's going nationwide basically survived attrition. After September 29th, Netflix will no longer rent DVDs by mail and will be winding down that part of its business altogether. Most people might be surprised that the streaming giant is still even renting DVDs. I know of one person that still got them, by the way. But if you're one of the subscribers who will be sad to see the service go, then now there's another rent by mail option. You can use anywhere you are in the US. Scarecrow, the largest independent video store in the US, has launched its own rent by mail service. I had no idea this even existed. Let's go over
Nor
to
did I,
Engadget.
and I thought we were going away from this quite a while ago, actually.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Now, there's a whole lot of plastic in this, and I'm not a big fan of plastic. Try to raise awareness that plastic is really bad, okay, but it's pretty pervasive, so it's not going anywhere fast. But DVDs are absolutely not needed nowadays. Mariella Moon is a contributing reporter over at Engadget.com. The next statement for this article is, your application has to be manually approved, though, and you can't rent rare titles. So what is a rare title? So let's find out.
Does that mean they don't offer them or they don't let you have them? But if so, why are they a rental place?
This is all just weird. Scarecrow, the largest independent video store in the US, has launched its own rent-by-mail service that'll send DVDs and Blu-ray discs straight to your door. There's a more efficient way, and it's called the internet. But I guess if you live like far flung from high-speed internet, then it's hard to stream high-resolution video. So, but there's a whole thing underway. Again, 20 years after the last time we did this as taxpayers, to fund the effort to push fiber out into more rural areas. We'll see if business actually honors this process, because we've paid this before. There's a whole lot of dark fiber out there in the ground, but companies scooped it up, turned it off because the need wasn't there, and here we are again, running more cable, more fiber. I love the idea of it, but I'd rather get bang for my buck and not just bury it, turn it off, wait until it's more profitable, and then turn it on. Just make use of it. Deliver the goods to the various people that this was supposed to light up. Sorry, I'm a little salty about it because I don't want to pay for it again, twice in my lifetime, for crying out loud. Who knows if the fiber that's in the ground wasn't even tracked properly and it's already out there, and then somebody starts trenching again for another fiber optic line and goes, oh, damn, look at that. Somebody's already been here. And then they just cover it back up, like an ancient temple in Egypt. Just cover it back up. We'll build on top. It makes great foundation material. Anyway, to be able to rent from Scarecrow, you'll need to sign up for an account, which will have to be verified and approved by a staff member. After that, you can start adding DVDs to your cart. Titles are priced individually, but shipping will cost you $12 for up to 6 discs. That's discs, not titles, which means if one movie has 6 discs, you can't add more to the same shipment. The rental window is 14 days, including shipping. After that, you can either renew by phone or pay late fees. 14 days including shipping. So you get them, you better watch them, and then rewind and send them back. I know they're DVDs.
I don't think you can rewind a DVD.
I know. I saw that elevator starting to move.
Slowly.
So Scarecrow has 140,000 titles in its collection. Comparably, Netflix has around 5,000 titles in its US catalog, according to Cord Cutting. And cord cutting is such a weird term because you're just really cutting one cord and connecting another one, because you're going to be using the internet, most of which you can rent by mail. Anyway, there are exceptions, however, including rare and out-of-print videos that require a security deposit, newly released movies, and adult titles. It's also, it doesn't have it doesn't mail VHS tapes and laser discs, so you'll have to go elsewhere for those. There's more in this article, not much more, but follow the link and you can get to it. Okay, next article. It's over in ohmTown Daily. Corporate Goths are wearing their fishnets and eyeliner to work, and they're not apologizing for expressing themselves. Today I saw somebody walking the hallowed halls wearing a massive pirate hat. Massive.
Really?
It was
in
like
person?
that. Yeah. Massive.
Was there a reason? Like an occasion or?
I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't have a conversation. I just saw it. Not quite sure why. Everything else was regular clothing, but massive pirate hat. The corporate goth tag on TikTok has over 25 million views. Gen Z workers are reaching for all black clothing and white face paint when dressing for the office. I do believe that in any office that I've ever existed in, you show up in all black and white face paint and you'd be invited not to return. For some, the freedom to be themselves at work is nearly as important as pay. Well, everyone that I know that would have seen that would have been saying, well, you are free to be yourself at home and not for my company. Yeah, this would be... Yeah, I don't know.
Especially if you're like customer facing.
Yeah. Jordan Hart is the author of this. They're over at businessinsider.com. I don't know. I guess I've seen all manner of attire. I guess it depends on the venue. Gen Z workers are reaching for all black clothing and white face paint when dressing for the office. Let's see. Office dress codes have become blurred in the wake of the pandemic and opened the door for Gen Z to put on their own personal touch on business casual. For some, the ability to express themselves is even higher priority than salary. Quote, a lot of Gen Zers feel more drawn by the mission of a company and what their goal is as opposed to things like salary. Michael Yan, a founder of the job search platform Simplify, told Insider in November. What does the mission of the business have to do with them showing up like they're in
I'm not sure
they're doing
it does.
kabuki? You know, isn't that there's like a Japanese
Adam's Family?
Well, that's there's a little dark. Well, that's goth.
Right.
Wearing that thick white face makeup, seems like it would be off-putting to the general population, which doesn't necessarily lean on accepting all manner of appearance. Insider spoke to 3 workers participating in the corporate goth tag on TikTok, and they all agree on how important it is for them to be their true selves, even in the office. Hannah Rose, 26 years old, a university secretary. Rose uses makeup and jewelry to intensify her business casual clothes. Wow.
I can say 100% that I have never encountered a secretary that would have lasted a day dressed in goth attire.
Yeah. Maybe
like based on the environment around secretaries traditionally.
This is Ariam Guerrero, 24. This doesn't seem all that, off-putting in the general sense. I don't think that would be a problem.
Because of the lack of face paint.
Yeah, I suppose so. And then Madison Stone again. Yeah, I mean it's gothy, but it isn't like over the top. So artists like Evanescence, Amy Winehouse, and Lady Gaga practically raised me through their music and style, Stone says. Well, the problem there is that you're not an entertainer if you're sitting in an office environment. Lady Gaga actually was living in obscurity, really, when she was straight-laced But the moment that she built her Lady Gaga persona, because that's not her real name. Lady Gaga isn't her real name, obviously. And she was on David Letterman. When I first saw Lady Gaga, she was playing the piano, straight-laced, on David Letterman, and was nothing. Like, nobody, it was great music, great talent, but didn't really, like, wow anybody. And then lo and behold, Lady Gaga pops up and, well, meat dress. I don't know.
I mean, it's all about the image, I suppose, and entertainment.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't be able to get away with this. If I put leggings on, a crop top, and sneakers, I'd probably get fired on the spot. That's why I like being mayor of my own town, because then all I have to do is... all you see is from right here, right about where my nipples are. And then from here down, it's just nude.
Regular clothing.
No, the shirt just is cut right there. And then it's nothing but a gold thong. So the next article is over on ohmTown Daily. FDA Advisory Committee says common ingredient in some decongestants does not work. FDA Advisory Committee has reviewed the effectiveness of the oral formulation of a very common nasal decongestant, phenylephrine, and found it does not work. So there you go, folks. Dr. Jade Coburn over at Good Morning America wrote this article for abcnews.go.com. Quote, "It's amazing the amount spent on something that really has no efficacy."
So haven't these products been around a long, long time? Why are we just figuring this out now?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because the evidence gets suppressed and nobody has the ability to do the due diligence necessary, except that, I don't know, the FDA should probably be doing some of the digging and rooting around to prove that the information is, that the medicine is efficacious. It needs to be effective. It needs to be doing what it says it does. How long has it been around like that? Let me do something real quick. That's the DVD. I didn't throw that into the chat. I'm just a horrible mayor. I should probably be voted off the island. There are elections. Anyway, let's see here. Phenylephrine is found in some forms of over-the-counter medications like Dayquil, Mucinex, Sudafed PE. Isn't Sudafed PE the one that really knocks you on your butt? What's the one that really just...
That's Mucinex.
Is it? It's that one?
It's
but there's a certain formulation.
Formula, yeah.
Yeah. I've only ever taken Mucinex one time, because that one time I was completely off my rocker, and made me completely stupid the next day. I'm glad that I wasn't using any power equipment Anyway, it's amazing the amount of dollars spent on something that really has no efficacy, says William Figg, a doctorate in pharmacology. Right? That's what that is. I think it's a doctorate. Anyway, from the National Cancer Institute, said during the committee meeting, all over-the-counter medications hold a designation as generally recognized as safe and effective by the FDA, but clinical trials have found that oral phenylephrine, or PE, does not improve nasal congestion any more than a placebo at the dosage marked for over-the-counter use.
Wow. Okay, it's the doctor of pharmacy.
Pharmacy, okay. So, experts first raised concerns in 2007. 16 years later, they announce that it isn't effective. Great. More evidence has accumulated showing that the drug offers little to no relief. So do I get all of my money back? because it's
Well,
not
that's what
actually
I
been
was
doing.
just thinking about some sort of class action or something.
So when I said, this really isn't helping, I was right. For over
I mean,
16 years.
think how many products people have bought in that time frame.
Yeah, it's a jip. I've been ripped off. The companies, see, but they're going to say, well, we operated in good faith. They didn't. They've been talking about it since 2007. I think it should have been a little bit more expeditious in their research efforts. I think it would take a year to find out. Get 5,000 people with a cold to take this stuff. Hey, you know what? It doesn't work. Oh, okay. Let's pull it off of the shelves. But some company made millions, maybe billions. In over 13 years, I guaranteed billions. Yeah. That's jacked up. So I bet when you go to the pharmacy tomorrow and you look at the shelves, if you see PE on anything or phenylephrine, right? Don't take it, because it's not doing it. There might be other medications in that are doing their job and making the symptoms dissipate a bit. But phenylephrine is a significant player in it, and it's not doing jack. Good to know. Good to know. All right. So the next article, and the last one for tonight, didn't do its transition, is over in ohmTown Daily. This is our last one for today. I'm sad. A trio of failed lawsuits trying to sue websites for moderating content. Hey, newsflash, everybody out there that tries to sue a website for moderating content. Websites are not bound by First Amendment rules.
What?
We don't have agency with the government. We are private citizens. We are corporate citizens. We are not bound by the Constitution. Constitutional rights affect the government. We have laws, and there is no law that prevents me from saying what you posted on my website is dumb, and I don't want it on my website. Like, I regularly get an email from somebody that says that a link in the content isn't properly cited. And I say, well, I get it from a source and I link directly to the source. And then I say in the next line, just letting you know that I'm deleting anything that references you. Even if it is something I'm getting it from my source. If it mentions you, I'm deleting it wholesale. So it's really weird. I can delete whatever I want. And just so anybody who might want to kind of push back about this, well, you're a city, and that means that you are bound by it. No, ohmTown is a fictional entity. It doesn't really exist.
What?
It's true. I'm not a real mayor. I only play one on TV. So anyway, why do people still file these lawsuits? For years now, we see lawsuits filed against websites over their content moderation decisions, despite Section 230 barring them and the First Amendment rights of the platform backing that up. These lawsuits are always fail. Perhaps the reason we're seeing a bunch of these lately is because a ton of people completely misunderstood, helped along by the guy who I don't think could fairly describe anything if he really tried. This is all a quote. This is the snippet from the source. We'll get there here in a minute, what that source is. That happened with Twitter and Alex Berenson. All of the First Amendment claims in Berenson's lawsuit were thrown out easily. So this is over at Tech Dirt. The author of this article is Mike Masnick. So first up, we have well-known nonsense peddler and pretend presidential candidate RFK Jr. He's been suing platforms for a while, and it hasn't gone well at all. In this case, RFK argued that YouTube was a state actor in taking down some videos, but the court isn't buying it at all, noting the Ninth Circuit has already said that such arguments are nonsense. Won't go into it, but essentially, it's nonsense. A corporation is not a state actor. Now, if you can find some evidence somewhere that they've been directed by an agent of the government, then yeah, but you can't just indict somebody as being a state actor and then find the evidence, because you don't know necessarily what the provenance is of any evidence. You have to get it. This could be fraudulently generated evidence to fulfill whatever the desires are of RFK Jr. My point is, a corporation is a private citizen. Citizens United made that possible. Also, even without Citizens United, don't be a dumbass. Corporations are not state actors. Unless, again, you can provide evidence prior to the lawsuit. You have to be able to provide it to a court and say, hey, we have substantial evidence that says that YouTube is now a state actor. Well, if that's all true, then you could pretty much go to every news agency out there and go, you're a state actor for this side. You're a state actor for that side. You're a state actor, but for an organization that doesn't matter. It's just absurd. I can invite you to leave my establishment as long as I'm not violating any of the protected classes. And you saying something stupid on my site is not you being dense is not a protected class unless you have a doctor's note that says that you have a particular malady. And I don't think you want to lean into that one. So let's just say I can moderate to my heart's content. And most of the time I don't. Whatever gets posted. And as long as you're not being, I don't know, a tool, it'll stay. I've had to delete a couple of comments. But anyway, it says, finally, we have Joseph Mercola, a somewhat infamous purveyor of absolute nonsense regarding vaccines, who had his account taken down by YouTube. He sued. It didn't go well. He also argues a contractual violation, and as Goldman notes, Mercola seems to switch legal strategies midstream, going from originally suing over the content removals to arguing that he just wanted access to his content as if he didn't already have copies. Hey, some people might just push that stuff straight onto YouTube, and that's where it's housed because they have this perception that it's their own personal storage repository. That's not how it works. If you put all of your eggs in YouTube's basket and YouTube decides that they don't like you hatching eggs from their basket, you're going to lose all of your eggs. So you better have backups somewhere. That's why people
have more baskets.
And more baskets, yeah. So, plus all of these people are on the wrong side of reality. So that's it, folks. That's enough soapboxing. We just clawed our way over an hour for today. This is like the shortest show that I've had in a long time. So, that's because we only have 10 articles today. So that's the new normal, I think. That said, as time goes on, we will ramp back up to 2 and more hours, as time and space allows us to do so. At any rate, we're done, so let's drag everybody kicking and screaming. Oh, the screaming. Back to the welcome sign of ohmTown, Main Street. We just refresh. And, I did refresh. I thought there would be something a little more interesting. Let's see. Bunch of news. White House announces...
There's usually a lot of news.
Yeah, there is. White House announces $240 million investment to advance cancer moonshot. Hey, maybe we'll find something like we did for COVID-19. Find a quick... although cancer is so personal, It's such an odd bird. Like cancers are the genetic structure of the person that has the cancer. They just have the identity of. There are similar indicators of the same type of cancer that somebody else has, but the genetics of it aren't the same. That's why you have such personalized treatment. And it's either personalized, where they do some um, genetically modified treatment, or they just nuke someone with chemo, and that just like destroys everything. And you basically, it's like rebooting a computer. You start all over again, rebuilding your white cells and red cells and everything, platelets and whatnot. So maybe they can come up with something sophisticated and personalized. So you just get a shot, cancer gone. That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. Hopefully, this is successful. I mean, they've been trying to solve that for many, many decades.
Have a great imagination. I mean, ohmTown is imaginary. I can come up with all kinds of stuff here. Let's see. Starfield modder adds dark mode to terminal screens. There's a lot of patches that are coming to Starfield. All kinds of mods that are make it quality of life just shoot through the roof. Inventory management and all kinds of other stuff that's coming. Oh, it's amazing. I have yet to do any modding though, because I want the 2.0 mods. I don't want the ones that are hot off the press. Let's see what else.
So this AI and sound helping firms build their own sonic identity. That one looked interesting.
Oh, now there was just a report earlier today, and I didn't grab it, but it was in ohmTown, that you can now just write something and music will be made from what you write. And it's apparently pretty damn good quality.
I wonder if that's related, because I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the one, because this it doesn't sound like it. That's funny. Okay, maybe.
Are you sure it's not striking that tone?
Oh, man. It's on the right chord, though. So, let's see. I don't know if there is anything. Creepshow returns with entertainingly disturbing new tales. Creepshow is old school. It's bottle episodes of horror.
Oh.
9 Judges in Dread's 2012 movie explained. Hey, that might be interesting. All kinds of stuff, folks. There's a lot of stuff that's over in ohmTown. People started playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet online. I noticed it today on Twitch.
Did it just release?
I don't know. I think so. Because 2 articles in rapid succession about it. So I think it did. I think it just dropped. What else? I don't know. There's a lot. This is only, we found like 8 articles, and that was just the first page, and I just refreshed it, and now they're talking about Hermes still offers Apple Watch Series 9 with leather bands. All kinds of new Apple products dropping. Man, dropping like the level of a bank
times.
Account. Yeah, exciting times. You don't want to be in exciting times. Anyway, that's it for tonight, folks. I am Airwatt. That is ohmTown.com, and up there is the AI that's going to power down after saying a bye-bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. We will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.
Hey, you know what's not working?
Your visualizer.
Oh, I just noticed that. The whole show.
I think it was working earlier, but maybe not.
Was it? Hold on, let me try something. Say something.
Testing, testing.
No. How about now?
Testing, testing. I thought it was working earlier.
I tell you. Okay, one more time.
Testing, testing.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds. See you later, everybody. Oh, what a hot mess at the end of the show. Bye bye, everybody.